ladies and gentlemen. My name is Drthana, and I want to welcome you to Dre's Corner, episode 9. We're almost double digits. Almost! Yes! Anyway, funny thing happened to me this week. I was getting everything ready for the podcast. I was like, wow, this is a pretty slow news week. It's probably because of the movie coming out. And, a little bit here and there going on about the beta. Nothing really going on with Star Wars The Old Republic. Nothing really going on with the other Blizzard games. It's like, wow, it's going to be quick. It's going to be fast. I'm going to put in a PBA and go from there. I get up this morning and today I'm like, there's something that I'm scratching at the back of my brain and just being totally irritating the hell out of me. And I'm like, okay, I'll check out MMO Champions. Lo and behold, there's a whole lot of information coming out about Legion and also the pre-patch about Legion. So this is going to probably be a long show. Bear with me. We're going to talk about World of Warcraft, Legion, mostly. Got a couple other things I want to talk about, but other than that, in gaming news, the only thing I'm going to talk about right now is World of Warcraft. Let's start with the biggest thing of all. The World of Warcraft movie is live over the entire world. The United States has it. And as of yesterday, two friends of mine, Theo and another gentleman, I haven't asked him if it was okay for me to say his name, so I won't say his name. But like I said, two friends went to go and see the movie last night. Great reviews by these guys. They also said, do not listen to the critics because the critics have no idea what the heck they're talking about. These guys loved it. Theo, on the other hand, basically went and said the World of Warcraft movie is the best movie that he has seen all year. I myself, sometime this weekend, I'm going to go out and check out the movie. And also, ladies and gentlemen, please be nice. If you have seen the movie, be nice. No spoilers to anybody. Be polite, please. But anyway, off of that, the Blizzard this week had what they called the Legion Summit. Brought in streamers, podcasters to sit down and talk with some of the developers. Tom Chilton, Chris Robinson, Tom Chilton, as a couple of names are going by. James Walt, the story developer, Ian Halacosta. Sorry, man, I keep screwing up your name. Alan Brack, and a few others. And I'll put in my description of who was giving the interviews, so you can give a big shout out to them. The guys who did the interviews, they did a great job. We got a lot of information. Let's first start out with the pre-patch. When 7 comes out, it's going to be at least, what I'm finding out is it's going to be at least 4 weeks. Now, Demon Hunters, for those of you who are like, okay, I want Demon Hunter, I want it now, you're going to have to wait 2 weeks after the pre-patch. I think that's what they had said, because each phase is going to have its own thing. The first week, it's, we're setting up for the demon invasion. Then there's going to be the demon invasion. The third week is going to be getting ready for the final part, which we go to the Broken Isles and get our butts handed to us, and then we're going to be waiting for Legion. Now, the really cool thing about this is, of course, there's going to be a toy in the first week where you'll be able to turn, your friends and other people into demons, so you control them or whatever you want to do. There's some really cool stuff about it too, because if you turn somebody into a demon, they'll instead of like a Fellwalker that a warlock has, it will be one of the actually bigger demons that you'll get to be turned into and kill everybody. That's a good thing. That's also a bad thing, because if you get too close to the city guards or somebody, one of the NPCs that are protecting somebody, you will get one-shotted. And you will be turned PvP. So, and it's PvP that everybody can attack you. The level ones that are just starting out in the cities or wherever you're at, they'll be able to attack you. So, be warned, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it's not going to be like for those of us who went through the pre in ICC, or not ICC, Wrath of the Lich King, where you got turned into an undead because of the plague, and it caused all kinds of shenanigans. People would, after a while, people would not even log in because they didn't want to put up with the shenanigans. Some people liked it, and some people really hated it. It was either we liked it or we hated it. I can tell you this, Nam absolutely hated it. She was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm not coming back to the main cities until the X-Pack drops. But anyway, like I said, it'll go like that, and then we'll have different phases that will be going through. Horde and Alliance will have their own little phases that they will be doing. I do know that the Goblin Town, I forget exactly what it is, so I won't name towns. Eastern Kingdoms and Calamore, they will all have their different places where the Legion is attacking. You'll be getting all kinds of neat little, goodies, stuff like that. You want to know a little bit more about it, I would suggest that you check out MMO Champions. They've got a really good layout on what's going to be happening, and this was one of the big things that they were talking about with the Legion pre-release and the Legion Summit this week. Alright, let's get into the meat and bones of all of this and what happened, and take some of the really cool stuff that came out of all of these interviews. One of the things that the 4 interviews that I listened to and that I've read some of the stuff on, the biggest question to the Blizzard developers is, what's going to happen on the patches? Are we going to get a lot of patches? Are we going to get content patches? How is this going to work? Well, Blizzard, the guys from Blizzard pretty much stepped up and said, okay, from right now we have 3 patches already planned out, ready to go. They're going to have a dungeon, and not only are they going to have a dungeon, it's going to be content patches for these 3. Okay, you're going to have we're going to have dungeons. We're going to have upgrades to the raids. We are going to, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this, we are going to have 3 tiers of raids. So it won't be like in WoD that we had 3 raids, but it wasn't really 3 tiers of it. The guys that were being interviewed were saying they understand our disappointment with the rating system, and how right now we're like, what the heck do we do? There's nothing going on. In fact, they themselves, Blizzard themselves, said this is a barren time. You guys don't have anything going on. In between patches, that was one of the biggest things that they were having a problem with, is there was too much barren time going on. So what they're going to be doing is in 7.1, as soon as Legion launches, 7.1 is going on to the PTR. So they can get it tested, get it ready to go. Anything that needs to be tweaked or anything from launch can be in there that doesn't need to be fixed automatically, and has to be done right now. It can be fixed later. They're going to put it into the PTR and fix it, tweak it, and get ready for the content that is coming. The first two raids that we're going to have is let me find this real quick. Sorry, I had to go and find the notes here on the web. Can't read my own writing sometimes. The first two raids that are going to be coming out is Sormar and also the Nightmare. Now, what I'm understanding, not only that, with the raids, the first week that Legion is released, we will have on our dungeons, we will have normal, heroic, and mythic. 2 weeks after release, we will have the tokens for the mythic rating, and then, of course, like I said, with the next patch coming out, 7.1, they're going to be bringing out a new dungeon. Here's one of the biggest things that Blizzard was asked about also a lot was, well, is these new dungeons going to make the new old dungeons irrelevant? Blizzard said no, especially with the Mythic and the Mythic Plus. It will still keep them there. This is one of the things that they were not happy about with Pandora, with Mist, and with WoD. Is, after we out-leveled these dungeons in normal, heroic, there was nothing for us to do, and those dungeons, they didn't have any meaning anymore. This is one of the reasons why we got the mythic dungeons, is to give them something, give us as players something to do and be able to use those dungeons that they work so hard on. So I can understand that. One of the things that Blizzard wants to do is keep those dungeons relative the entire time going on in this expansion. Now, and I'll give you an example of what they had said to us, said to the interviewers, is basically say, you're in a dungeon, you're busting butt, something drops. You're at 100, your max level 110. You've done these dungeons over and over and over, but you're at, let's say, 810. Your item level is 810. Now, there is a possibility that not only will you get legendaries from the boss drops in these dungeons, but also your item level, your stuff that you're getting off the bosses and the trash. 110, you got all this type of stuff. You won't have a 725 drop in the dungeon because, hey, you're with 8-10 people. The loot is going to upgrade with you. So not only in the world content is constantly keeping up with you, but also these dungeons are also keeping up with us, which in my opinion is really good, because I don't know about you guys, I have ADHD and I get bored really freaking quick, and if I get bored, not a good thing. I get into big troubles. Now, one of the things that they were talking about, and what I mean is Blizzard talked about, is the weapons. Our artifact weapons are constantly going to be getting different types of upgrades throughout this expansion. Now, another big question that was asked was, okay, my main spec is, I'll give you an example. My main spec for Legion is going to be Fury. Normally I do tank, but in my guild we have enough tanks, so I step into Fury. Okay, I'm doing all my different stuff, and it's like Lyra, my raid leader, goes and says, "Hey, Dre, need you to get going also on your tanking side of your specs." What I understand from all the interviews is it's the catch up to getting to where the Fury weapon is going to be easier, and a lot of the things, and this is one of the things I couldn't figure out, so I'm going to make my own speculation of it. I could be wrong, I could be right. However, what they're going to be doing is, okay, I'm going into a dungeon with Dre as Fury. Different points, artifact points that I'm getting on Dre that I'm building up is going to go server-wide or account-wide. I didn't really get what that was. I could go and get my tanking shield on that thing and build up the artifact power for that. To me, it sounds really good. Sounds really cool. We won't have to wait till halfway through the expansion. In my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, they've really went and put a lot of thought into what they're doing in Legion. I'm really hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, that this is true. And I don't want to say that they're lying to us or anything like that. I'll let the naysayers and the trolls and everybody else that go, "Oh my God, well, you're screwing us up." I'm not going to do that. Sometimes you all have heard me about, the knee jerks from Blizzard. I really don't think this expansion we're going to have knee jerks from them. What I think that we're going to have is a showing that they actually thought long and hard of what they're going to be doing in this expansion. They've already got 3 patches, content patches, ladies and gentlemen, ready to go for us and thought out and getting ready to plan, and it being on getting ready to be put on PTR at launch. So to me, it already seems to me that this expansion is going to be better. I want to kind of put a little bit of joke in there because Blizzard also kind of trolled one of the interview people. They asked him, "Hey, who's going to be the final boss in Warlords of Draenor?" And the interviewers went and said to him, "Garrosh Hellscream." In this interview with the devs, the same gentleman went and said, "You guys trolled me, last year when we had talked about this. Who's going to be the final boss for Legion?" And the Blizzard guys went and said, "Oh, Grom Hellscream." Yeah. And they had laughed about it, and Blizzard people went and said, "We're not releasing who is going to be the final boss." A lot of us are going, well, we're speculating. A lot of us are speculating that the final boss is going to be the avatar of Sargeras, which would be really cool. I'm going to go, a little tinfoil hat here. Defeating Sargeras, everything goes, the avatar of Sargeras. Here's the thing, what I would like to see, and please excuse me for this, what I would like to see, ladies and gentlemen, is we defeat the avatar, the real Sargeras comes in and kicks our behind, and basically shows, the heroes of Azeroth, yeah, you're nowhere near kicking our butt. But again, that's my opinion. Let's get on to stat squishes. This expansion, there will be no stat squishing. Next expansion, we will have a stat squish. So we could get anywhere between, tanks having anywhere between, 5 to 10 million health. Okay, this also means that the raid bosses are going to have billions of health, which is cool. I don't care. If I can be a little boss, then I'm happy. Next expansion, I'll be brought back a little bit. All good. The reason why that they're doing it this way is because of the different changes that they put into Legion, like the combat animations and the other things that they had put in. They're going to leave the stat squishes alone until next expansion, which a lot of people that were talking to Blizzard, they really liked it. I think it's a really good thing. They're doing a really good job. I've done some of the questing in beta and ran some stuff with Nam. I'm 106. Dre's 106 in beta. Was running with Nam. She's 101, and it didn't matter that we were running together at different levels. What I was fighting, she was fighting, was comparable to our level, and I wasn't, just mud stomping what she was kicking and what she was doing, and she wasn't worried about getting one-shotted what was fighting me. So Blizzard has done a really good job. Professions, there's a lot of different stuff that is coming out with professions. Professions are going to be tied to a lot of the weeklies, some of the weeklies and dailies. They basically went and took all the stuff from Vanilla and BC and put it into Legion for the professions. In my opinion, it is a really good thing. It makes professions viable. You'll also be able to make different things with your professions, break them down with a forge that you have there to upgrade the profession armors that you have by taking the dust or whatever that you get from breaking down the stuff that you made and putting it onto your new shiny Legion armor that you made, and make it really nasty and bad to the bone. The artwork, if you aren't in beta yet, the artwork that Blizzard has done, oh my god, they've outdone themselves yet again. Now, one of the big things that I want to get away from, professions and, questing and stuff like that, I want to get into, world quests, basically, your weekly stuff that you have to do during, during the week, basically our WoW chores. I want to talk about that. Also some gear and dungeons. The world quests, like we said, the system, when you're doing your world quest, you're going to get anywhere, you're going to top out anywhere in there between 805 and 810. It's not too powerful. It's not too powerful. It's not too weak. It's just right. Until you get into the dungeons, the raids, that type of thing. Okay. Now, with that, you'll be able to get into the dungeons. Now, dungeons, this is something that I was talking about before. These dungeons are going to match your gear that you're doing. Also, say you're not a raider, you're not interested in raiding, you just go and say, whatever, I'm not going to get into that madness, but I want to see, some real hardcore looking raiding. Mythic is something that you can get into. Mythic and Mythic Plus, if you've played D3, it's basically kind of on the same type of thing that they're doing in D3 with the rifts. You get these stones, you put it in and put it into the stone to pop the greater rifts, better loot, yada yada yada, same type of thing. And you can, Blizzard had said, you can go and play like that the entire time if you want to do that. It's good. And if you want to do it, they're happy with it. If it makes it fun for you, good. Now, one of the other things that they wanted to express and make sure everybody knows, you don't have to do Mythic dungeons to get into to do the raids. You don't have to, however you want to play, you're going to be able to play. If you want to be, a social person that only does professions, bingo, that's what you can do. You're a quester slash, pet farmer. Guess what? You can do it. You're a semi-hard, like with me, you're semi-hardcore raider. We have something for you. I mean, so basically they basically went and said, okay, we're going to give our people what they want and how they want it. Even the PvPers, they've pretty much set the PvPers up on, they've also talked about this, and with the PvPers, they basically go and say, okay, now at level 1, you've got the trinket talent that gets you out of being stuck or, polymorphed or whatever. And each one of these things, instead of having, how the Blizzard people had gone and said was, and there's a reason why I'm saying Blizzard people, is because I listened to the interview that see, this is why I say Blizzard people, because I cannot say that man's name. I'm really sorry, so I'll just say Blizzard people and not embarrass myself. But anyway, like I said, for PvP people, the reason why that they're not really getting into the gear, just like this model that we're in right now, is, you're building up points to go and pick up a, piece of gear that's 20 eye levels higher. It really doesn't do much for you. There's no different look for it, anything like that. Each one, now with the PvP talents, each one of these talents actually makes a difference on what you're doing. Now, you're probably going to say to me, and you might not have heard this before, you may say to me, wait a minute, Dre, what happens when I completely fill that entire talent base? Guess what? Hit reset. You've gone through it once. Hit the reset. Do it over. You can. I don't know how many times that you can reset the talents. You get a little shield when you're in PvP that says, okay, hey, this guy over here has gone through the talent system for PvP once or twice or 3 times or 5 times. This guy who you're going up against, or gal that you're going up against, is somebody who plays a lot of PvP. So when you go in what type of player you're going up against. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But anyway, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of really cool stuff that has been released, with dungeons, also with melee and ranged, the different designs in the fights, and the different stuff that Blizzard has gone and done. If everything goes well, keep your fingers crossed, everything goes well, and there isn't a DDoS from a bunch of asshats, please excuse me, that, messed up Warlords of Draenor for the first couple of weeks and drove developers completely freaking mad. I really think that this expansion is going to be really good because Blizzard thought about it, and you can tell by the interviews that Blizzard had thought about it. For more information, you can go to MMO Champions. I'll put a link in the description so you can go to it, listen to the interviews, make your own decision on what you like, what you don't like, that type of thing. Let me know. I saw a lot of good things, and right now I'm not doing, okay, here's the good stuff, here's the bad stuff. I haven't seen all of it, so I can't give you a full opinion. This is one of the reasons why I say, hey, check out MMO Champions, check out Preach Gaming, check out Bioware Gaming. These guys will give you a good understanding of what the pros and the cons of what different stuff is coming out. And like I said, Bioware is PG-13, Preach Gamer, not so much sometimes. But let's move on from World of Warcraft to a couple other things. Okay, normally I try not to do shout-outs or anything like that during the middle of the show or anything like that. I try to keep that at the end of the show. But this one is really important. It has a really good thing. Let me take you back a couple of steps. About 17 years ago, I called my baby brother saying, hey, congratulations, you are an uncle. My niece, last night, walked down the aisle on her graduation. She's an honor student. She graduated with honors. My niece, completely proud of her. I think she has done over her life. Barriers that she's and I'm very proud of her. Happy what I was doing. I told her a couple of months ago, I was going to say something about her on the show. And again, also, I'm very proud of her. She is the second one of our family this episode of Bridge Company will be For Alyssa. But again, I'm trying not to get really, really sad. But like I said, it's very proud. She's awesome. She's got a great head on her shoulder, and her Uncle Dre is absolutely proud of her. Now, I don't want to leave out my nephews. Boys, if you're listening, listen to me very, very carefully. I say this every summer. I'm going to say it again. This summer, I want you to be nice to your mom. When you get up in the morning, I want you to give her a kiss on the cheek, give her a great big hug. If your mom goes and tells you to do something, yes, ma'am. If she asks you to jump, you ask her how high. Be absolutely angels for her. Now here is your prize for doing all of that. You can drive your father completely mad, okay? Nutball mad, okay? And if he yells at you and says, "Why are you guys being like this?" Just look at him and say, "Uncle Dre said it's okay." Love you guys. Okay, something real quick, and then I'm gonna end the show. Okay, something that has come to my attention. And GDB came this week to do a house visit with me and Emmy to see everything was going okay and if she needed to be retired. Just like I told them, she doesn't need retired, and neither do I. Go away. But they had also told me about some of the things that were going on with service dogs and guide dogs and things like that. I don't want to upset anybody. Service dogs are something that is very important all around the world. Doesn't matter here in the United States, China, wherever. For service dogs that are important for a lot of people, especially for our guys and gals that are coming home from this war that's going on. There's mental illnesses that are coming back with these guys and gals. There's men and women that are coming back that are deaf. There's some that have partial blindness or full blindness. There's a reason why I'm talking about this. These service dogs are trained. I mean, Emmy was trained for 2 years, from being puppy to the time that I got her. She has her own little certificate saying, "Hey, I'm a guide dog." And also I have the ADA laws that if somebody goes and says, "Hey, you can't be here," yes, I can. There's the right way or the right time of doing this. And there's, God, I'm not going to be politically correct. I'm sorry. I'm jumping all over myself because I'm trying to be polite. So I'm not going to be polite. So I'm not jumping all over myself. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, and it irritates the ever-loving crap out of me. Service animals are exactly that. They're service animals. Okay? For those of us that have service animals, they are a lifeline. For me, it's she is the key to the prison that I was in before I had got her. Walking around, I needed a stick. With her, I can go anywhere. Doesn't matter where it is. Now, where I'm going with this is there has been some really big problems with service animals, and it's not the ones that have been trained. It's the people that do not. And if you do have it, but you're doing this, get a service animal that is trained. Okay, you have these people going into stores, going and saying, "Hey, I need a service animal. My pit bull is a service animal." And ladies and gentlemen, there are some pit bulls out there that are service animals. because they have the right temperament for it. However, person that comes into a store with a baby alligator and says, "This is my service animal." Excuse me. Service animal is not allowed to be a predator. Okay, alligator is a predator. Okay, here's the thing that I'm, like I said, I'm trying to be nice and I'm trying to walk that line because this is a parent-friendly channel, so I'm trying to be nice. For those of us who have service animals the right way, we are told, the law is Emmy has to be clean, she has to be well behaved, and she has to be healthy. Okay, and different places that you go, yes, they have to let you in, they have to let you be a customer. However, you also have to give a little bit, because these guys are giving a lot to you too. You have to watch your animal. There's been a lot of people go into a store and go and say, "This is my service animal." They attack food, shoes, when they're in Walmart, food, shoes, all kinds of stuff. Get snappy with small kids. There's misbehavior, episodes that have been going on. Dogs have relieved themselves in an aisle. This is not somebody that has a trained service dog. There is laws going out right now to expand the ADA law, because people that are in the service business, the grocery store, Walmart, wherever, they're like, this has got to be enough. We've got to do something. So I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, research this thing. Go, and I'm going to put this in the comments. Not comments, but description today. I want you to go to Guide Dogs for the Blind and look up what they're doing for, to help out not only those of us who are, have disabilities, but also going and saying to Washington, hey, these people are making us look bad, As a person that has a service animal, it's my job to educate the public. Hey, yeah, you want to come up and pet Emmy? She's got the harness on. You're not allowed to do it. Hold on a minute. Let me calm her down, and that type of thing. But coming up and just doing whatever you want to do, that's not right. And dang thing is people who do not have licensed service animals, they're letting them do this. They're allowing bad behavior to go on, and all of us are having a problem with it. So like I said, I want you guys to go to Guide Dogs for the Blind, look this problem up, help us out. Even if you have to go, call up your congressman or your senator and say, hey, there's a law coming in, want you to look at it, and I want you to get behind it. If you want more information on this, ladies and gentlemen, put it in the comments. Say, hey, Dre, I don't understand what you're talking about. I went to the site, I checked it out. Like I said before, it's my job as a person that has a service animal to not only keep myself educated, but also educate you on, being around my animal, because I want you, I want to be safe, and I want you to understand, what's going on. I'll sit here and talk to a wall, so I'll talk to you, and I'll have some good things to say to you. If you're somebody that has visual impairment, hearing, you have a family member that has epilepsy, or a child that has Asperger's, or any type of mental illness, talk to me. I'll send you to guide dogs. If I can't answer the question, I'll send you to guide dogs and say, hey, you need to talk to this person. Just like in World of Warcraft, if I don't know the answer, I'm going to send you to somebody that I do know. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for this last a little bit. It just needed to get out there, and like I said, I've promised myself that this channel is going to be a parent-friendly podcast and channel. So, what I really want to say and how I really want to say it, I can't. So this is one of the reasons why I was stumbling all over myself a little bit. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, be kind to each other. Be kind to those who have service dogs. Do not, let me repeat this, do not spoil the movie for anybody who hasn't seen it. It could start fights. But anyway, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you very much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. I'm going to try to keep a Dre's Corner being published every week, so you'll be notified as soon as it comes out. As soon as I get a couple of things going, I'm going to start streaming again. My baby brother, I want to give a shout out to my baby brother. Him and I were talking a couple of days ago, and he put a fire under my behind, and there's some things that I'm going to be doing, and you're not only going to see it with Dre's Corner and my YouTube channel, but you're also going to see it with the stream. I want to do a huge shout out to all the guys and gals that did the interviews for the Legion Summit. Sorry, I don't know all of your names. I know that Tally was one of them. I know that Blizzard Watch was one of them. The French guys, sorry, I don't mean to go French guys, but I can't. I'm not going to butcher your name. I'm sorry, but like I said, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, again, I want to say another big shout out to Ballard Gaming, also Preach Gaming. If you want to see his top 10 things about Legion, check him out. It's already up. Sometime this week, he's also going to be doing his top 10 worst of Legion. Like I said, the reason why I promote him is because he's fair. And he calls things the way he does. Also, Ballard Gaming has put out a video about the private server and what them and Blizzard were doing. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to direct you to him. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you again. Have a great weekend. Have fun at the movie. For the Horde, for the Alliance, for whoever, have fun, and I'll see you back in gaming. Emmy, we're done with this episode. Hit the music. We're out of here.